gentlemen, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for this devotional. Today we're in Daniel chapter 4. I'm going to read verses 31 through 33. We pick up the story where Nebuchadnezzar has declared how great he is, how awesome he is. So he's still standing on his rooftop while the words were still in the king's mouth, while he's still bloviating about how great he is. There fell a voice from heaven. So he hears another voice. And it says, "Oh, King Nebuchadnezzar, to you it is spoken." So now he's getting spoken to, right? He's getting a talk down. "The kingdom has departed from you, and you shall be driven from among men, and your dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field, and you shall be made to eat grass like an ox, like an animal. And 7 periods of time shall pass over you, perhaps 7 years, until you know the Most High rules the kingdom of men and gives it to whom he will." Immediately the word was fulfilled against Nebuchadnezzar. Now, fellas, sometimes people ask me what happens to those who are never exposed to God's word. And I actually think Nebuchadnezzar here is an excellent example of what it means to never really be exposed to God's word, or maybe a local church. You see, just because someone doesn't have a Bible in their hands or doesn't have a local church in their area preaching the good news, this doesn't excuse anyone from believing. Because you see, God speaks to a man in more than just one way, or maybe the way that we expect him to speak. God calls to men over a lifetime using a variety of means, because he can do whatever he wants. He calls to men through events, through dreams, through circumstances, and even people. And he presents these warnings to us faithfully over a lifetime, giving us numerous opportunities to believe, which is precisely what happens here. Nebuchadnezzar is given dreams and visions and explanations and miracles and people, not a Bible or a church, mind you, yet he rejects all of them, every single one. But there does come a moment when God will speak and confront man, or him, Nebuchadnezzar himself. And when this moment happened, well, this guy met with a reckoning. You know, fellas, this is the truth and the case for all men. God warns us, aside from the resources of the Bible or even a local church, that he is the God. He did it this way long before the Bible was ever printed, long before your denomination ever existed. He gave this man in this situation multiple opportunities to believe, even though he was surrounded by pagan ideas and pagan politics and pagan gods, which I think pretty much absolves all of us from any excuse, because God can and will reveal himself in more than just the way we expect, one way. So the question is not, is God speaking? The better question is, are you listening? Because he is speaking. Are you hearing and heeding his voice? Because at some point, all men are going to meet with the terror of God's mighty voice. And you want to make sure that when you hear it, it's not the first time you've heard it. Because at that moment, well, it's simply too late. Fellas, I love you. I hope you'll listen today to his voice. And with that, I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.